Welcome to Jacksonville, the Duval County, also known the Bold City. First off, I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for this opportunity to be able to present this to my family. And we'll get a little background about ourselves too. I'm a state trooper here in the state of Florida, protecting the great citizens here in the Jacksonville area. Go ahead, Crew.
And I am a contract specialist with the Navy. So your tax dollars go to procuring services and construction projects for the naval base here in Jacksonville. So that's what we do collectively down here. And the purpose of this presentation is not about share-like properties. We're just presenting it, but we wanted to engage Black real estate investors in the city of Jacksonville and kind of give you a heads up of what's going on down here. Just tell you a little bit about the market and potentially have some Black synergy centered around real estate investment. Not necessarily with us. Of course, we would like that, you know, if we can do projects together, but ultimately we are conduits to you and how you can have successful real estate projects here in Jacksonville. So this presentation is going to be a top level view of Jacksonville. It's not going to get in the nitty gritty neighborhood by neighborhood, because if we do neighborhood by neighborhood, this would be a conference, because that's how big Jacksonville is. So it's going to be a top level view. And if you want to go deeper, we can go deeper. You would just have to wait till the end when we have questions and answers and stuff like that.
Yes. And remember, ownership is the new Black.
All right. So everyone who's here is going to get a copy of the pitch deck. And this is just a nice table of contents for you to see and kind of help you navigate when you get a hard copy yourself. One of the things that I want to point out is you will notice in the bottom right-hand corner that there's a number. So as we go through the presentation, questions will come up. What we ask you to do is write down that number and write down your question. So when we get to the end of the PowerPoint presentation, you will be able to ask your question. So hold all questions till the end. We're going to go through the PowerPoint. It should take us about 30 minutes and we will engage in Q&A at that time. So we want to show you a brief video in Jacksonville. And this should be real quick. It's going to be a 2-minute video. It's going to be really fast. And that's just the way the person who edited the video, that's how fast they filmed it. And that's how fast the scenes are going to go.
Enjoy.
When you make your way to Jacksonville, you're sure to love our region. The people and the weather give you something to believe in. Visions have emerged. We've seen a surge in renovations. Our infrastructure's growing, so we've made accommodations. What's your current situation? Have you a place to build your dreams? Our 7-county region is the perfect place to be, filled with everything you need. Financial services, indeed. Come and see our drive to lead and why these companies succeed. Our utilities are advancing. We're a haven for headquarters. Our businesses are growing like there's something in the water. Blooming opportunities. Our industry is growing high. Travel through our downtowns on the roads or through the skies and witness beauty on the sides of all the buildings with our art. Culture coexists with business. Business plays its part through our advanced manufacturing, IT and innovation, our health and biomedical and modern transportation system flowing through our region like the river that we love. We love to see the sunset on our river from above. We love to see the sunrise as it floats above the beach. Dolphins play while cruises take vacationers to sea. See that cargo ships dock portside in and out with their equipment. Our water's working wonders for our leisure and logistics. According to statistics, our school districts are the top. Our talents graduating to assist you with your thoughts and bring to life your every goal within our business-friendly towns, pushing forward this economy with people who are proud to be a part of something great. Try our food and watch a game. See what sets us all apart. See what makes us all the same. See what makes us cheer so loud. It must be something in the water. Have you seen our cost of living? If you haven't, then you oughta. Plan a visit, make your way, research where you'd like to stay, because the beauty of our cities are our products on display. And there's no better time than this. There's no better place to build. Home is where you place your heart. You can fall in love with here and will make you feel at home. You can join us in our growth. Pack your visions and your goals and make your way down to our coast.
Video.
All right, so that was a brief video about Jacksonville. So we hope you enjoyed it. That was by Jax USA Partnership. And a lot of our content that you're going to see in this PowerPoint actually came from Jax USA Partnership, as well as Downtown Vision Jacksonville. So once you get a copy of this PowerPoint, you're going to actually get a copy of those resources so that can help you do your deep dive in Jacksonville.
Yes, indeed.
All right.
Who's here?
So we're going to talk about the organizations that are down here in the South, in Jacksonville. So we have the headquarters for Fidelity Information Services. It's a fintech company. They've been here for a few years, but now they are actually building their headquarters here, brand new headquarters being built. We have several banking institutions here, as you can see on this PowerPoint. I want to point out Macquarie because that's actually an Australian-based company that has set up shop here, and they are a global financial service group. So they do wealth management, they do asset management, things of that nature. And then we also have a Mayo Clinic here, which is a pretty big deal since there are not a lot of Mayo clinics in the US. So one of those is here in Jacksonville, and Baptist Health is our major other hospital here as well. So we have Southeastern Grocers that are headquartered here. That is Winn-Dixie. So you've seen Winn-Dixie if you're in the South. It doesn't go too much past, I think, Tennessee. And lastly, if you hear a train, more than likely it's either CSX or their competitor.
Yes, and we have 4 professional sport teams here in Jacksonville. We have 2 long-term naval bases, Naval Air Station Jacksonville and Mayport. We have 4 universities. One of them, Edward Waters College, is a HBCU. Got to represent.
Yes, shout out to the HBCU. Okay. So, and he said 4, and I know you see 3. You're like, well, where's the 4th team at? We forgot about the Jacksonville Sharks. Arena football is real popular. I think they're even better than the real team, the Jacksonville Jaguars. All right. So who's here? Let's talk about the population. Let's talk about the demographics. Let's talk about what you really want to know. So the population is currently 985K. And you can see that most of our age group here is 27%, 25 to 44-year-olds and 45 to 64-year-olds. So the census data that you see on this PowerPoint is from 2010, because when I went to do my research, I could not get the new numbers yet. They say they don't release the new 2020 census data until this spring. So if we had did this PowerPoint maybe 2 months from now, we can give you accurate data. But I will tell you, there's no place we go in Jacksonville where we do not see Black people. So I'm hoping and believing that number has increased drastically. And we have a small percentage of Asians and a small percentage of Hispanics here. And one of the things that I want you to see is that on the right side, you will see pie charts. So how many people are renting in Jacksonville versus ownership, and then how many people who, the second pie chart, how many people are renting, but they're not necessarily renting alone. So we have a lot of roommates down here in Jacksonville as well. And one thing that I want to point out is that last bullet, Freddie Mac's study. We are the 5th highest by percentage among areas, metropolitan areas that are growing. So people are moving to Jacksonville. That is a fact.
Location, location, location is a big key word. Here in the River City and Park City, Jacksonville is ranked 5th in the US for the most newcomers. Job growth is 1.3% annually projected in job growth. Plus, if you want to fly to your cities, 2 of my favorite cities, direct flights to the ATL, the Black Mecca, and Nashville, Tennessee, home of the hot fried chicken. And plus we have 3 marine terminals, 3 major railroads, 2 major highways. I-95 go north and south. I-10 go east to west. And you have a 30-minute drive to St. Augustine.
The oldest city in America.
Yes. And if you want to go to Orlando, it's only a 2-hour drive from here to Orlando. And if you're real lazy, it's a 30-minute flight. Go ahead, Carol.
So one of the things that I want to point out to you all is, as you know, e-commerce is a really big deal now. So a lot of people are buying online. And so I am subscribed to the Jacksonville Business Journal. So if you do decide to invest in Jacksonville, which after this presentation, I don't see why you wouldn't, I would highly recommend subscribing to the Jacksonville Business Journal. So there are a lot of warehouse acquisitions that are going on. Amazon is definitely buying a lot of warehouses down here. And there are also some warehouses that people don't know about. So Ulta Beauty Supply, they have a warehouse distribution. Warehouse distribution center here. Mercedes-Benz, they also have a warehouse distribution center here. So a lot of your warehouses in Jacksonville are going to be on the north side near the airport, of course, and near the train tracks as well. And one thing I want you to think about now, there are no state income taxes in Florida.
And no food tax.
And there's no state or inheritance taxes in Florida. And the weather is very nice because today it was 70 degrees here and it felt great. So finally, I do want to address the elephant in the room. So when people hear about Florida, they're like, oh, the hurricanes, and I don't know, I don't want to move to Florida because of the storms. So if you look at a map, Jacksonville is actually kind of inward Florida. It's not really out on the coast like Miami. But Keith and I have been living here for 10 years. And of those 10 years that we were here, we were overseas for 2 years. And in that 2-year mark, we were hit by a hurricane here. And the only areas that got flooded were the areas that were near the river. So if you're going to invest in real estate near the river, you're definitely going to have flood insurance because those areas were flood. But for the most part, if you're not near a large body of water called the St. Johns River, then you don't have anything to worry about. And we have plenty of shelters here and we have plenty of time to evacuate. Like, they're very conservative. If the hurricane's out there 5 days away, they're already opening up the shelters and allowing you to vacate. So we're well prepared and you don't have to worry about, if you have residents down here, tenants down here, finding a place to reside during the hurricane. All right. So one of the things that we want to highlight is the
Emerald Trail.
Yes. And the next few slides are actually going to be about some development projects that are happening here. And these projects, this one in particular, this is where Jacksonville has a lot of value. Jacksonville is going to give you appreciation because right now the masses have not embarked on Jacksonville. You know, Austin's getting really hot. Atlanta's getting really hot. A lot of people are going to those areas. Right now, Jacksonville hasn't reached that mark, but we will eventually in the next 5 to 10 years. This is just Carol projecting. But with this project, if you guys are familiar, if you haven't been to Atlanta, there is something called the Atlanta Greenbelt.
Yes.
So the Atlanta Greenbelt think of it as a scenic trail. So it's a paved scenic trail. You can bike ride, you can walk,
skateboard,
you can scooter, and it connects you to various neighborhoods, various Atlanta neighborhoods. And so against that Greenbelt, you have retail, you have restaurants, and you have residential. So the same developer that is actually has completed, because the Greenbelt in Atlanta is pretty much done, that has completed that project, they're actually down here helping Groundswork, which is the company that's putting together the Emerald Trail. So that's really big. And then another thing I want to point out is if you're thinking about investing in Jacksonville, this Emerald Trail is going to be what you want to look at, areas you want to look to invest in so that you can gain that appreciation in your investment projects. So the first line that they're working on that's going out to bid tomorrow to be developed is going to be link number 1 on the map. So that connects parts of Brooklyn to another historically Black neighborhood, and that's Newtown. So we're looking for revitalization wherever this Emerald Trail goes through. It's going to be a $31 million project that's going to be constructed. The design looks nice. And one thing I want to point out here is that when you get this deck, you're going to be able to click on these links and it's going to take you to the websites directly to get more information.
Okay, the district on downtown. This is a new unit that me and Carol will be living in and investing to. It'll be like a walking community. You have your yachts, have your healthy foods area. It's gonna be real nice. You're gonna have 950 residential units, 147 hotel rooms, as you can see on the left side of your screen. Go ahead, Carol.
And it's going to have, it's going to be right on St. John's River. So that's prime real estate. This project is in its design phase. So it's already clear, it's already approved by City Council. They already got a bond on the land to actually help with the development. So that's going to be great. And then here's a project that I just want to point out that the City of Jacksonville does have what they call a Downtown Historic Preservation Trust Fund that's available to developers. So if you get downtown and you want to, or you know some developers and they're like, hey, you know, I'm looking to do some projects downtown, because downtown is slacking a little bit right now. There's no livelihood downtown. So this is going to actually be the first building down, or probably the second building downtown with a rooftop lounge. So that's really exciting. They're trying to bring things downtown. They want people to work, play, and stay downtown. Right now, people come into downtown and they leave downtown. They come to work and they leave to go home.
Yes.
So there's nothing to engage them there. So this is something pretty cool, that there's some money out there that the city is giving developers who choose to work on historic landmark buildings.
All right, we got more in district, the Cathedral District.
Also downtown.
Downtown project planning pending. It's a great thing that we got a billionaire here, and Sean Khan, the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He wanted to spend a lot of his money downtown and try to uplift the city, having hotels here like the Ritz-Carlton, the Four Seasons, and bring some major heavy hitters here in Jacksonville.
And so the Cathedral District is pretty interesting because it's like, I think there's like something about connecting these four churches together and making a lot of residential and mixed use retail in this area of downtown. And what you see here in this picture are containers. So these are container apartments that were constructed. They're near completion because they're going to start leasing these units in November of this year. But this project actually cost $1.2 million. And it's going to be affordable housing. So it's going to end up costing, the rental rates are going to start at $550 a month. So that is pretty exciting. And when you get this PowerPoint again, I just want you to know where it says downtown projects. And when you click on that link, it's going to take you to what is currently going on in downtown, what is planned to come downtown, and what is pending to come downtown. So the Downtown Investment Authority, it's just another, it's like a community revitalization plan that the city created. So here in Jacksonville, that is an organization where if you're coming to develop downtown, the best place to start is with the Downtown Investment Authority for developers only. If you're just buying residential, then you don't have to go through them. You just buy where you need to buy. But what I will say about downtown is Shah Khan,
yes,
he has a lot of interest. I went to a DIA meeting today, and they were talking about developing parts of the river, developing different things on the South Bank and North Bank. Because if you guys aren't aware, the St. John's River splits Jacksonville in half. So it's a pretty big city with a pretty big river. So what are some of the advantages? I mean, the key word tonight is appreciation. If you haven't heard that, appreciation. So you can use your investment properties that you're getting here immediately, like in the next 3 years, you will get a lot of appreciation. And I'm saying 3 years, but you can probably get appreciation in 1 year. And as these development projects come along, especially with that Emerald Trail, that's going to give you that cash money you need to go into other cities and probably make some cash purchases for sure. And then even in Jacksonville, with the prices being so low here compared to other cities, You can probably make some cash offers here on some multi-families and single family homes as well. Or of course, banks, if you have a good relationship with your bank and they can hit it for you real quick. So we are, and I think this is everywhere, but I only know about the Jacksonville market. That's the market my study is in. So we have a low supply for residential and of course, affordable and upper middle class. It's like Jacksonville kind of started construction a little bit late and they're like, oh crap, we're 5 years behind developing the city to meet the demand for the population that is coming here. So remember, in terms of land mass, Jacksonville is the largest city in the US. Remember that. And in the corner here, what we have for you, for those of you who are interested in Section 8 housing, where you want to invest in properties and have Section 8 renters in your property, these are the current market rates for Section 8. And in the appendices that you will see later, you will see the average for the market rental rates here in Jacksonville.
Hot places for construction. You got the Brooklyn neighborhood, San Marcos, Springfield area, South Side, downtown, La Villa, East Side, and Durkeeville.
So I kind of wanted to stop right there. I tapped him on the shoulder like, wait, hold on. Okay, so La Villa, East Side, and Durkeeville, they're not hot places for construction. So that's like me saying, like, these are the historically Black neighborhoods right here, and there's a lot of room for potential development. Yeah. So once you get your appreciation, once you have your equity from investing in the places that have a lot of construction going on, we can take that equity and we can really build some things in these neighborhoods and continue. Because the East Side is where the Jaguar Stadium is. So as they develop around the Jaguar Stadium, the East Side is going to be like the next thing that's going to be popping off, and that's going to give you again that appreciation.
Yes, and what we missing downtown is grocery stores, like a Whole Foods, a Publix downtown, and like a Riverwalk boat tour to tour the city, like on the river. It would be real nice. Restaurants, hotels, more entertainment, something that we don't have here in Jacksonville. But all of this is going to change.
Yes, and I'm predicting. Kara McGrath's prediction is that it's going to change in the next 5 to 10 years, right? So we have the right ingredients for a vibrant downtown, and we're working towards that. Our city definitely wants you, and I and Keith want you to invest here in Jacksonville. So what we put together, these next 3 slides, they are kind of like, I want to call them case studies. So in an area where you're going to get appreciation, these numbers are just raw numbers. This is like, if we were to give them what they offer, what they're selling it for, this is what your cash on cash would be. 10%. How much rent would you make? $3,000. But I can tell you from going through different houses in Jacksonville, trust me, you're going to have to negotiate because there's going to be deferred maintenance. We have not walked into a multifamily yet that did not have deferred maintenance on it. So the offer price, the sale price might be $410, but I guarantee you, when you get into your negotiation stages and you do your inspection report, your cash on cash can definitely increase. And when you do your rehab work, you're definitely going to be looking at a higher appraised value. So this is a single family home in an area that has appreciation on the Riverside area, and that's pretty popular. And this is a turnkey. So for those of you who are interested in turnkey properties, the highest rent you could get over here is $1,500 for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. And your cash on cash is $20, and that's just you walking in it. That's it. Cash offer. So when you look at the numbers, this one is strictly a cash offer. So this is an area that is under-resourced community, and they do have a lot of quadplexes in this area that are going for sale, and they're going for sale in the $200K range. So I believe this property recently sold, and it definitely sold for less than $215K. But if you look at your cash on cash return, you're talking about 25%, and this is another one. It needs rehab. Like when I looked at the pictures, I'm like, oh yeah, this needs some rehab. This needs some work. But if you put the work in and you hire a general contractor, you can definitely increase the rents over here probably to like $700 a month or $800 a month, depending on how nice you make it. But this is a 2-bedroom, 1-bath. Okay, and so this one
right here is our baby, our first duplex, a great project. So we have a total of 4 properties, 2 single families, 1 duplex, and we're in the works to getting a quad.
So when you look at the numbers here, so this is transparency right here. This is how we do. As you can tell, you're going to be like, whoa, you guys paid a lot of money to get your financing done for this property. But hey, we had to get in the game real quick. But now we have a better relationship. We have 2 banks that we have relationships with: Liberty Bank, which is a Black bank, and we have a relationship with Florida Capital Bank. So these 2 banks from now on, we're going to start going to them. So our capital cost to our acquisition cost can be a whole lot cheaper. And what we did on this property is we rehabbed it. We did a pretty light rehab, not a deep rehab, just an upgrade. We upgraded. When you get the PowerPoint, you can actually right here click on this, and this will take you to our video so you can see the work we did on this rehab. And we rented both units out for $825. So both rented. It only took what, 1 month?
Less than that.
1 month. The whole rehab for the project only took 2 months. So we had to turn around pretty quickly, and that was in March. So no, it was in February. Yeah, so we got renters in there in February because, again, they're not Section 8, they're regular renters. But I will tell you, for those who like to do Section 8, the waiting list for people who want to live in Section 8 housing is 2 years long. That's how much housing we need here in Jacksonville, even for Section 8 people.
Yes.
All right. So when you get this deck, I created some appendices for you to help you navigate Jacksonville better and to really dig deep into Jacksonville. So in Appendix A, we got prices for investment property by zip code. So Riverside and Evandale, these are your appreciation areas. And Springfield and Eastside, again, it's going to be, Springfield is already appreciating. It's on the up and up. Eastside hasn't gotten there yet, but it will be as more people start coming in, because I've seen the news and I've been watching, and a few people are putting stakes down in Eastside to really develop that. So gentrification is going to be coming to the Eastside in the next 3 years. So when you click on these links, it's actually going to take you to realtor.com so you can see what a quadplex in Jacksonville is costing, what a duplex is costing, and what a single family home is costing in these zip codes. 32209, these are going to be your cash flow only area. It's going to be an area where you're going to be able to not get a lot of appreciation as quickly, very slowly, but you're going to get a lot of cash flow. And then in a 32208, that is a mixed community. When I say mixed, I mean it's Black and white. So you have areas that have the potential to appreciate. So same concept. You're looking at duplexes, quadplexes. You click on these links and it'll show you what our prices are down here. And again, your average rent. These are your average rent numbers now. It's not to say that, because it's not to say like, oh, well, we're only going to get $684 or average rent for a 2-bed, 1-bath. It says $763, but we just told you we're getting $825 for our duplex, and it's in the 32208 zip code. Okay. And so I wanted to also give you guys a map of downtown so you can kind of understand the layout of downtown.
The improvement district.
Yep. And again, for people who are developers, it's just about where can you get the money to develop if you're interested in developing. So if you're interested in developing, this map is going to pretty much be the layout for where you can get that historic trust fund incentive money. If you're going in the North Bank Core, that's where they're trying to give incentive money to restaurants, retail, because they want to fill in downtown because it's lacking. But it has so much potential. And so we need some of that synergy here to get that cranked up.
Yes.
But it's coming. I mean, people are engaged. I just want to make sure our brothers and sisters are also engaged in picking up some of that appreciation.
Yes,
and that opportunity. And finally, this is the final appendix for you as a resource tool. This is where you're going to dig in and kind of find out more about Jacksonville, see some of the opportunity zones here. You're going to see some information about the Chamber of Commerce. I want to point out Jacksport now. We are the #1 port in Florida. We are shipping a lot of good weight. I was gonna say we're shipping a lot of weight out of here, but I just want to be clear, good weight out of the ports here. And that's a big deal. They hire a lot of people here too. So I do want you to keep that in mind. And again, definitely look at the Downtown Investment Authority, because that is where a lot of the downtown, to keep up with what's going on with downtown developments and stuff like that. So that's going to help you out a lot. And we do have LISC. So when we're talking about development, LISC is going to be your best friend. So that concludes our presentation about Jacksonville. So we're going to keep this PowerPoint here. And at this time, we're going to ask if you have any questions, and we'll go back to the slide if need be.
And make sure you bank black with Liberty Bank.
Yes, Liberty Bank. Oh, you don't want to stop sharing, babe. Because if they ask questions, then you want to be able to go back to the slide.
How y'all need everybody? Chat.
I don't know. I think everybody can unmute themselves.
So anybody got any questions at this time?
Why not Jacksonville?
Excellent presentation, guys. Excellent.
Yeah, that was a great presentation for sure.
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Oh, wait, no, it might be us. Sorry.
Did you hear me? I said excellent presentation.
Yes, you said excellent presentation.
Thank you.
We love when you said that there's no taxes on the houses when they pass down from generation to generation, and there's no taxes on the restaurants. I think, what was it? The restaurants?
Food tax.
Food tax. Now that right there was a seller for me.
Oh, let me be clear. He's talking about when you go to the grocery store.
Not the restaurants. That's when you go.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
And restaurant too. So that right there was a top-notch seller for me.
Okay.
What about military retirees?
Oh, you know they take care of
What benefits does the
right in
state?
the base. Yeah.
We have 3 bases here, so they definitely take care of the military.
Yeah.
No, I mean, as far as so your military retirement is not taxed?
Nope.
Okay. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, and property taxes are still cheap down here.
Said property taxes or what? I didn't hear that.
Yeah, still cheap.
Well, what's your?
Let me be clear. Depending on where you buy, the areas that we presented, I mean, in the Riverside and the appreciation, Riverside, I mean, maybe you might be looking at, if you got to, because our quadplex is seven grand for property taxes over there.
Now y'all also said downtown there was some type of incentive for opening restaurants.
Yeah, so they're trying to get retail, they're trying to get restaurants downtown, so they are offering incentives. DIA is working hard. They're really working hard. And it's not that things aren't happening downtown. Like, I do want to make that clear. I'm making it seem like, well, downtown is dead. Yes, downtown today is dead. But as we drive downtown today, there are a few developments that we talked about, and then just a few developments that aren't even in this PowerPoint presentation that are being built.
As we speak.
So that's my whole point. I'm just trying to make sure Black people are engaged, because, you know, a lot of markets are getting a little hot, and it's like right now you can hop on a market that the masses haven't came into yet, but it's coming.
Yes.
And I like that.
Any more questions?
Carol and Keith, this was a great presentation. Thank you so much for taking the time to share all of this knowledge with us. I really am interested in like multi-family buildings, like apartment buildings. And I was just wondering your thoughts on the housing stock. You know, are you seeing, because you had mentioned You showed, you know, something with single family and duplexes, and I know you were talking about quads, which is actually also really exciting. I wanted to find out more about like just multifamily apartments, or your thoughts on, you know, that mix of housing between like, you know, 1 to 4 units versus like 5 to 100 units.
So right now, for if it's we're talking above 5, so I've seen, and what was that? An 8 unit is selling for 1.2
Yes, they
million.
originally looked at 1.2.
But it was very well. I mean, when I say that's my new standard for rehabs, that was a very well rehabbed quadplex times 2. And so then there's another apartment that I had seen, I think it was a 15 unit, and it was just below 1 million because it was not well.
Okay. Okay, great. And then, so would you say then a lot of the buildings are like somewhere in the like the 15 to 8 to 20 units, or, you know, do you think that there are also some, and again, I'm asking, you may not know this because this is, you know, maybe out of scope. I'm just curious because I like that. I tend to gravitate to the larger size properties. So I'm just curious, you know, like 50 units and up.
Don't have that data, so I have to
I
look.
can answer that if you want.
Go ahead, Kashia.
Right now, the market, we have not a lot of the smaller units. I don't know if you're familiar with loop.net, but if you go on the loop.net, you can take a look, and there are about 4 units that are larger, over 15. And they're in the areas that they're discussing, and they go from like 1.4 million and up. So we do have a couple of larger buildings, but not as many. They're, as a matter of fact, you guys, you remember we were trying to look for the smaller units. They're coming on, but they're more of the larger units and not the smaller units. They're there. They're there.
This is
Okay.
our real estate. And our contract.
And
Our general contractor.
she's real good too. So if y'all want to connect with somebody, connect with Kashia.
And our property manager. Okay.
Oh, okay, great.
One of 2. So we have 2 property managers.
Okay.
Oh yeah, we have 3.
And can you tell me about, like, what are you seeing right now as a property manager? Like, what are you seeing in terms of, you know, delinquencies and, you know, the need to have to remove people?
So, you know, for Jacksonville, especially with my company, we're not seeing as many as we thought we would. And I'm really surprised at that. But you also have to understand, this is a very, very large area. We've been really blessed to not have to deal with that as much, but we are seeing it here and there, but not as bad in Jacksonville, especially with my company.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for your question, Sonia. Is there any more questions?
Hey, how's the hey, awesome presentation, by the way. Quick question. So how's the, like, what's the days on market for properties that are you know, that are going on, you know, on listing?
Multi-family or single family? Because they have 2 to me different.
I would say probably single family.
So
I can answer that if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's hot right now.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood right now, the price of the homes are 350 to 700,000. Originally, maybe 6 months ago, we had 45 homes on the market. Now we only have 3, and we have people approaching, literally knocking on doors, asking if you want to sell your home. So the market is turning to a seller's market at this point. So that can be good because there's a shortage of homes. There's a shortage of homes. So if you're looking to develop, this is what you want to do because we've got so much land. So it's strange because 6 months ago, I'm not sure what's going on, and maybe it was the presidency, and now we kind of find we feel comfortable with where we're going. People are buying up homes here, so it's a good thing. It's definitely a good thing.
It's interesting. Yeah, that's happening in multiple places too. Not only, I mean, that's what I'm noticing in different markets. I mean, people are saying that there's low inventory, so once it goes on the market, it's literally getting
Snatched.
snatched. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah,
and
but
then
what's for you is for you though. So
Yep.
I mean, once you get down here and start to look in.
how about the foreclosures? You guys have anything as far as like number of? I know you guys talked about defaults, but like actual like foreclosures, are they actually are the courts still doing sheriff sales, or are they pausing it? Like what does that look like right now?
I can answer that if you want.
Yeah, because I'm not even tracking foreclosures.
Yeah, I'm trying. I actually flip properties. So you've got tax deeds. Are you familiar with the tax deed sales?
Yes.
Okay, so tax deeds in Jacksonville are running every month, and they have maybe 40 properties. And the foreclosures, they're doing those every month, but they have maybe 40 to 50, and we're used to seeing 200 to 300. So they are selling, and they are foreclosing, but not as much as they used to.
Awesome. Okay. It's good to know.
When you were just mentioning tax deeds, are there also tax liens as well in the state?
Well, okay, so they are still doing the tax liens. What they're doing is they're doing a tax lien and they sell a certificate. Are you familiar with that?
And they're selling what?
The certificate.
Okay, yes.
Yes. So what they'll do if you're late on your taxes, they go and they sell their certificate, and that certificate sits for 2 years. Once the certificate sits for 2 years, the person who owns that certificate or who's paid for it, they can say, please sell it, and they can force it to sell. And they're doing the tax deeds. They are having those sales.
Billings, okay. And are those also online?
They are. As a matter of fact, if you look at I think it's Duval Real Tax Deeds.
Real tax deed, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cassia, for answering that.
Sure.
And I'll try to send you the tax deed website.
Any more questions or comments?
Did you even recognize that there's so much goodness going on in Jacksonville before this presentation?
There's a lot of good stuff. I'm excited about what we've got coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of people just don't think about Jacksonville. They think about Miami, Orlando. It's like Jacksonville.
I think the most incredible thing about Jacksonville is that it is untapped. Yes. So to actually come here to a market where you can make a mark is exciting. And there is so much, there's so many areas where I don't know why it's just not moving yet. So we definitely need someone to come in and revitalize these areas.
Yeah. And that's where we're like, we're condoned. That's what we said. Like, we go to the city planning advisory council meetings, we're involved. When we go to the downtown investment authority meeting, we know people in the city. So it's just like, if you're doing a project here and you're like, hey, I want to rezone this land, or hey, who do I talk to about, I got all these liens on this property I bought. We are able, because we went through the City of Jacksonville Community, we're able to kind of know, okay, this is the apartment you need to go to. Hey, let me talk to Lisa, my friend Lisa. Hey, girl, who in the city who can handle this? So to be able to have those touch points within the city, that's what we need. And sometimes you can't necessarily be here on the ground to do that, but just being able to help out Black people to see, like, that's just the ultimate goal for us. It's like, we're investing here. It's not like we're trying to say, hey, you invest here. We're not. We're investing here. We believe in what's coming to the city. And we just want to be able to see Black dollars and that Black wealth, expand.
And then you can see what things going on too. Is an app you can download too on your phone. It's My Jacks. Let you know what's going on throughout the city.
Yeah. And that's one thing I can say about Jacksonville. I mean, they're definitely big on citizen engagement, but citizens just aren't engaged.
Not.
Not the ones that can really, probably pin some needles, but for the most part, it's the same old folks kind of complaining about change, but
Waiting to talk.
everything changed.
Of course,
Everything
yeah.
changed.
You can come in the weather.
I can ask them all mine.
All right.
Mr. Hall, y'all got a question? Raise the hand.
Oh, I got it. I got it.
I think one other question that I have, I know you went through the slide that had a lot of the employers and a lot of the the different companies that are there, and I just wanted to get a sense of.
Now, what slide number was that?
I didn't write it down, and I know you said it a few times to write it down, but I didn't write it down. I'm actually just.
This one?
It was an earlier, so yeah, that one. It was the different companies. So just from like I was just thinking about like just like workforce housing, or your kind of your like Class C properties, and where are people working? Where are the regular like blue collar people? Where are they working? Are those the areas that you would invest in? Or I'm just trying to get a sense of what the unemployment rates are like.
I think
I can answer some of that.
Okay, I have to look at the unemployment rate, but you can answer the unemployment rate question. But as far as like the blue collar jobs, or where the workers working, Jacksonville, wow, it's a big city. It's almost like it's 5 cities in one city.
Yes.
So you can pretty much go in any neighborhood and you're going to have the working class. You're going to have the workers filling in the spaces in downtown, Riverside, San Marco. I mean, even in Mandarin, which is a area that has some old money there as well. So they're kind of scattered, but
that's why it's called the Bold City.
But if you're looking for the majority, that is going to be in your 32209 zip code, in 32208.
Go ahead.
Okay.
The way Jacksonville is set up, they call us Upper Georgia. It's kind of rednecky. I'm going to just say it. We like to hunt, and we like to do all the fun stuff. But the way Jacksonville works is very segregated. So originally, the hot spot was the north side, and the north side has a bush plant, and that's where a lot of the blue collared people work, and everyone wanted to live on the north side. Then people moved to the south side, and then south side was hot. And then they moved to the Mandarin area, and now they're moving back to downtown. And when I say they, I think we know what we mean by they. And so there's a trend where everyone's trying to get back downtown. And with the revitalization of downtown, there's an area called Springfield. If you guys get a chance, you got to look at it. It reminds me of the Buckhead area in Atlanta. They've got the historical homes, $1 million historical homes. At one point, they were selling for $1. As a matter of fact, they were like, if you take this Victorian house and you got to move it, you had to move that house. They sold them for $1. We bought our first flip property in the Springfield area for $4,000. We kept it for 3 years, and then we sold it for $65,000. So Springfield's a great place, but you've got a mixture there. You got $1 million home, and then you've got a crack house on the side. That's how it is. And to get in now, because we've been trying to get Springfield up for the longest. So to get in now would be the time to get in. And there's several multifamily buildings in that area. And that's where the Jacksonville Jaguars are. That's downtown. So there are a lot of blue collars in the north side. Mandarin is the it side. When you're looking at your taxes, that's where you're going to pay a higher tax, which is the Mandarin area. And now you guys' side where y'all are living is the new hot place. So, you know, taxes vary where people live. In the north side, the taxes are very, very low. But that is called the black side. Can I say that? Is that appropriate? That's the black side, and the taxes are very low there. We're segregated in that fashion where it side is where you're paying for your taxes, and the way that works, it's not good, because the way that works is there are better schools in that area. You know, there are better opportunities in that area, better bus routes in that area. So Jacksonville is so large. There's so many areas where you guys can make a mark, and it's not oversaturated.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that.
Yeah, that's interesting. And just to give you a gist of how big Jacksonville is, depending on what side of town you live on. So if you live at the Jacksonville beaches, we only have one major airport, and so that could take you 45 minutes just to get to that airport. Where we live, it's a 30-minute drive to the airport. So just to think about the size of Jacksonville, I think part of the reason the way the neighborhoods are kind of segregated is due to the river, because I don't think there was a point in time where all the neighborhoods were connected by bridges. Now you can also call this Bridge City, because there are a lot of bridges that maybe back in the 70s were not here. So each little community had to kind of form their own thing. But I will say things in Jacksonville are very convenient. I mean, East Side Town has a Target, Walmart. I mean, you name it.
Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, so things are very convenient. The roads are nice and smooth. The speed limit is 70 miles per hour. No potholes.
65.
Weather is nice. I just love Florida. I'm from Tennessee, but I just love Florida.
Because you a 10, I see. I got you.
So that is definitely, there's lots of room for growth here, and there's lots of room for appreciation here. It's just a matter of where you want to plant down and actually grow. So if you come down, we'll definitely have to do a tour. I highly recommend it. But for right now, you can do a visual tour, because like I said, you'll get those links in this PowerPoint, and it'll take you to each individual neighborhood.
Yes.
The only neighborhood that you're probably not going to see a website for are Durkeeville and La Villa neighborhoods and the East Side neighborhood, because those are historically Black neighborhoods, and they are currently underdeveloped. But like I said, the East Side, you already got a few entities working to gentrify that neighborhood.
All right.
Great, thank you.
Any more questions?
Yeah, we want to be respectful of your time. We didn't want to go past an hour, so we have 6 minutes till 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I have one more question. I just want to say I love that shirt you have on, Keith.
Oh.
And my question is, how's the weather in the winter months?
Warm. I mean, it's very rare that we have cold days here. Like, yeah, we do get down in the 30s at night, and then the highs are in the 40s, but for the most part, we're in the 60s. And there'll be some days I gotta put a coat on, a real coat, but it's just not often.
50 degrees.
Okay, I have another question. I have another question for you too. We get a lot of mosquitoes down here and flies. Do you all have a lot of mosquitoes and flies there also?
It depends on what part of Jacksonville.
If you live in a river, I don't know. I don't be outside.
When we outside cooking, as you know, every time we go to cook, then they come.
I can answer that.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so it depends. So let me just explain Jacksonville. Jacksonville is so large that you can be by the beach or you can be in the swamps where I am. So I'm in the swamps. I'm out in the area. I'm in the area called Orange Park. We're not near the beach. And I'm actually on a preserve, and I do have a lot of mosquitoes. So it just really depends on where you are. You literally will feel like you're in 4 different cities the way Jacksonville looks. At the beach, of course, we don't get a lot of mosquitoes at the beach.
Mm-mm.
Thank you.
Any more questions or comments?
Yep. Before we close out.
Oh, can I also ask if you all, do they spray for mosquitoes like they do here?
Yes, they do.
Yes.
They talk about it at all the CPAC planning meetings.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yes.
All right, 4 minutes, but we can close it down early. So we just want to last call for questions.
Image of a powerful. Is there an art community emerging?
Yes. So we're getting really big on murals down here, and then the I think it's the Commons Museum. Slowly but surely, they are diversifying their artwork.